To the exact moment police rescued Cleo Smith.
I got her. Hey, Bobby.
Bring the camera in.
Hey, come here. Come here. I've got you, Bobby.
What's your name?
You're alright.
What's your name? What's your name, sweetheart?
My name is Cleo.
Your name is
You're all
Cleo.
right.
Hello, Cleo.
Police have charged a West Australian man over the abduction of the 4-year-old girl. After 30 hours of interrogation, 36-year-old Terence Kelly appeared in court barefoot and wearing a black T-shirt. He didn't enter a plea and didn't apply for bail, but it could still be weeks before we find out exactly what happened to the little girl. Live now to Jacqueline Robson in Carnarvon this morning. Jackie, Terence Kelly reacted to reporters in court?
He did, Nat. He was quite vocal. He yelled out, "What are they doing here?" and then made threatening remarks and gestures towards reporters. The magistrate reminded him that it was an open court. It is the first time that we've seen the accused man in person, barefoot, a black shirt and a relatively calm demeanour as the proceedings got underway. The magistrate described this case as notorious. It's notorious because of its miracle-happy ending, and now little Cleo has spent her second night at home. This is the moment we all wanted, even needed to hear.
I got her. Hey, Bobby.
Bring the camera in.
Hey, come here. Come here. I've got you, Bobby.
What's your name?
You're alright.
What's your name? What's your name, sweetheart?
My name is Cleo.
Your name is
You're all
Cleo.
right.
Hello, Cleo.
It was, just overwhelming delight, to go in and open that door. I think shock originally, but yeah, just absolute overwhelming delight to see her unharmed.
After 18 days of holding hope, Ellie Smith now holding her little girl close.
But it was the first time, I think, to sit down in a more relaxed format and have a conversation with them and really see Cleo in her home environment. And it was really heartwarming to see, her interacting and playing in the backyard and just being herself and around her parents.
The West Australian Premier flying in to get a personal update on how she's going.
Very nice. We did a few high fives. I unfortunately trod on her new Barbie shoes and broke one of them. So I owe her a pair of shoes.
Cleo, wrapped in her mother's arms as she was taken to be interviewed by specially trained police. They now begin the painstaking task of what happened to her inside this stranger's home.
It does appear that there could be some mental health issues involved with this case. I'm just going to read an article for a number of reasons. The end of the article will divulge why I'm only going to read an article. Family members of the man charged with abducting 4-year-old Cleo Smith say his image appears on a social media account that posts about loving children's dolls and claiming to have a partner and children despite living alone. Terence Darrell Kelly was not required to enter a plea when he faced Carnarvon Magistrates Court yesterday, charged with one count of forcibly taking a child under 16. Now, this does not include any SA or any other type of abuse. The offence that they are talking about under the Western Australian government, I actually suspect that there is a minimum mandatory sentence that the federal government will apply. However, under Section 343 of the Criminal Code Act, Compilation Act 1913 states, any person with intent to deprive any parent, guardian or other person who has a lawful care or charge of a child under the age of 16 of the possession of such child, or with intent to steal any article upon or about the person of any such child, forcibly or fraudulently takes or entices away or detains the child, or receives or harbours the child knowing it to have been so taken or enticed away or detained, is guilty of a crime and is liable to imprisonment for 20 years. So it doesn't say up to 20 years, it doesn't say depending on this or that. Other than family members disputing the legitimacy of the child as a parent, there are no defences to this crime. The ABC has spoken to family members and neighbours of Mr. Kelly. They describe him as a reclusive, but said in recent weeks he had started behaving more socially. They said he had gone to visit his family at their home. The profile, which features photos of him, also posts about loving Bratz dolls. The profile included a video of the man in a room with shelves filled with dolls, with a filter giving him larger eyes and heart emojis. Police have revealed Cleo was found at a home just before 1 a.m. on Wednesday playing with toys, but would not be drawn on what was in the room where she was found. They have released audio of the moment officers found her, but not the video, from a police-worn body camera. Social media profile says alpha male and dad, and then in Italian it states Australian born of an Italian mother. On January 27, a post said he had warned his children, of which he claimed to have 5, about online safety. The profile also shares videos of a child in a bathing suit captioned "My Princess," and another of a boy sitting on a couch captioned "My son in Western Australia, missing you big boy." A third video shows a heavily pregnant woman and is entitled "Not Long Now." Residents and family members told ABC the man lived alone. Comments on the profile's posts included those from other doll enthusiasts. The community has been targeting the posts and people linked to them. One man changed his profile picture to say that he did not know Mr. Kelly and asked people to leave him alone. This is just ridiculous behaviour. There are a lot of doll enthusiasts out there, and not just Bratz dolls, there's action figure dolls, there's all sorts of dolls. Family described isolated man raised by his grandmother. The ABC understands the man comes from a large family with links up and down the Midwest. The man's father is in Karratha and had not had much contact with him, but was said to be shocked when he heard the news. According to his first cousin, who the ABC has chosen not to name, Mr. Kelly and his older brother were raised in Carnarvon by their grandmother, who died around 3 years ago. The cousin said he saw Mr. Kelly at the shops on October 19th and was surprised how friendly he was. He was a very quiet person, he said. He would usually stick to himself. But he said his cousin had greeted him at the shops and told him they have to stick together now, which he thought was strange. He said a number of people in the community say they saw the man buying nappies at the store, but may have assumed he was running errands for friends or family members with children. He said the situation had affected many of his family members who may not have had anything to do with the man for many years. I went to the shop and I feel like I'm being judged by other people, he said. Again, this is ridiculous. You can't go after family members. This is ridiculous. In a town of just 5,000 people, community speculation around the identity of the man living at the home where Cleo was found has reached fever pitch, with many sharing details of the profiles online. Another community member, who did not wish to be named, told the ABC she had seen some backlash online against certain groups and was concerned it would worsen. I think the certain groups they could be referring to there could be Indigenous groups. So backlashing against all Indigenous people because this one man happens to be Indigenous, again, this is ridiculous. It's like the police commissioner said, we have to come together, she said. Police Commissioner Chris Dawson has warned people against making comments online in the wake of Mr. Kelly's arrest. So I presume these warnings are going out because perhaps there are no other charges. We may want to, in our own minds, depict something far more devious happening to little Cleo. However, that may not be the case. Now, we need to be careful as creators that we're not putting thoughts into people's mind where they're going to expect some kind of justice for perceived thoughts that they had or that you helped them to create, and the actual justice that fits the crime. The same goes for the argument over rewards. Someone seeing a person buying nappies does not result in a conviction at trial. You need to have a lot more evidence, which the police obviously had because they caught the perpetrator an hour before they went and saved little Cleo. We need to let the legal system run its course. Let the trial play out with the evidence that the police have collected and quit making up stories. If you're an Australian resident and you are not happy with our justice system, then you need to lobby our local member. If you are not an Australian citizen, you just need to shush. It's our legal system, and we will lobby our members if we think it's unfair.
Good afternoon. We start with pictures just in of Terence Kelly, Cleo Smith's alleged abductor, with his hands and feet shackled as he boarded a plane heading for Perth under heavy police guard. The 36-year-old is charged with kidnapping the 4-year-old girl, accused of holding her captive for 18 days. Prison riot officers flew into Carnarvon to transport him to a maximum security prison where he will stay until his next court appearance in December. And this afternoon, we can finally give you a look inside the house where Cleo was allegedly held captive. Louise Rennie has more from Carnarvon.
Prison riot squad officers flew into Carnarvon on a charter flight this morning, heading straight for the police station where Terence Kelly was being held. They loaded the 36-year-old straight into a police van before transporting him back to the airport. But in an attempt to throw off the news cameras, the awaiting plane was moved to the other side of the tarmac at the very last minute. Barefoot and shackled, Terence Kelly was finally loaded onto that plane and flown down to Perth, where he'll be held in a maximum security prison on multiple charges, including child stealing. The Carnarvon local is accused of snatching Cleo Smith from her family tent at the Blowholes campsite and holding her captive in his house for 18 days. The breakthrough finally coming early Wednesday morning when detectives kicked down the door to that house, finding the 4-year-old awake and playing with toys inside a bedroom. It's understood her alleged abductor had been living alone in that house and also has an obsession with children's dolls. His social media page flooded with images of his large collection. But police are still building their case against this man. Specialised detectives have begun the big task of interviewing little Cleo to unravel exactly what happened during her ordeal.
Hello doll fans and welcome back to Beauty Inside a Box. Today I have another full collection video for you. Today I thought I'd show off my rather extensive Bratz collection. I absolutely loved the Bratz as a kid and I still love them now. I thought they were so cool and funky and current and modern. I'm really excited for the relaunch, the comeback, which is meant to be happening this year to celebrate the Bratz 20th anniversary. My goodness, 20 years. Wow, that makes me feel really old. The rumours are saying that there's going to be some reissues of old lines like Bratz Rock Angels, as well as a brand new modern line of Bratz dolls. And I'm personally more excited about the updated brand new line as opposed to the revival of the old lines. MGA and Bratz have always been really current, I think, and I don't really like the idea of them looking back too much. But anyway, if you love dolls as much as I do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check me out on Instagram to see more of my collection. And don't forget to let me know in the comments which of my dolls is your favourite. But anyway, let me get on with the collection.